Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 942 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today we're going to talk about branding pros and cons. Hope you didn't miss episode 941. That was a new feature on Facebook called auto clipping, where you can really save you a lot of time with your videos. So make sure you pick up a copy of our automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate-free and check out my mentor program at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. One more thing. Hey, if you want to give the greatest gift ever to your kids or your grandchildren or even to yourself, check out my school, the Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia. It's imtcva.org, where you will get a highly marketable skill in as little as 6 months. In fact, people are making money before they even graduate. All right, let's get into branding pros and cons. Well, for years, you may have heard me say this over and over again, if you've been listening to me for a while, that small businesses typically brand themselves into the poorhouse. All right, the example I always give is somebody says, "Oh, I want to make my website look exactly like the colors of my printed brochure," and I tell them to go down to Best Buy and pull up their website on 10 different laptops and then see how that's going to work out. It's going to look different everywhere. I mean, some people have come to me, they spent $15,000 for a branding package kit or something that was totally worthless. They hadn't sold a thing to anybody, and they were $15,000 in the hole before they even started. So I'm very much against this. But anyway, I'm going to give you some pros and cons of branding, and then a little bit about when maybe you might want to brand, and from examples in my life. And you might say, "Well, let's forget branding. Tom didn't do it for 20 years. Anyway, some pros of branding. Well, you get recognition. People notice and realize, oh, that's the company I dealt with to do so-and-so. The simple examples are McDonald's, Coke, Pepsi, and KFC. Everybody knows if they instantly see those what they are. Even I was making a cross-country trip to Idaho, and I would look for either a Pilot or a Love's. These were truck stops and each one had certain amenities that I wanted on this cross-country trip. So I would watch for their signs, see? So that's a good thing. Now, when it comes to hiring, yeah, people like to work for established brands. Many people do because they know there's a reputation. And also that there's somebody to sue, I guess, if that has deep pockets if they get screwed over. Now, your brand also can have value in itself when they go to evaluate a company's worth. So besides just your physical assets and your sales and so forth, I think they call it goodwill because of that brand. So it can have a financial value for you. It also has a perceived value in that people kind of think that the product is better. I know if I'm traveling with somebody and they got to go to the bathroom, I'm going to look for a McDonald's because pretty much they're going to be clean. Okay, so it had nothing to do with the hamburger taste, I guess, but still, that brand has created that, that's a better place to go. Now, also, there's a loyalty thing to it and repeat business thing to it. If you just love a McRib sandwich, you're waiting for that to come out. It's not there all the time. Or if you love Big Macs or Quarter Pounders, you just have that feel, or chicken nuggets. I'm using McDonald's as an example because pretty much everybody on earth knows what McDonald's is. But somebody else might like, the cheese sticks at Burger King, I just love them. Or the Whopper is my favorite. I'm always going to go for a Whopper. See, and a Whopper is a brand, right? See, so yeah, you can get loyalty to yourself with a brand, a strong brand. And it kind of gives you a competitive advantage. All these things add up to the fact that a non-branded place that's has a similar product, then you have an advantage because you're more well known and all these other things. All right, so what are some of the bad things? And these are what I got to tell you, for most small business people, this is where I hone in. They come to me and they want to make a fortune online, right? Or they want to be a professional speaker. And they've never done a paid speech and they've never sold a thing online. They got some crap, stupid website that they got off of major national TV, which I always say the stuff on national TV with regard to internet marketing is designed to take advantage of people that don't know any better. So that's the bottom line on it. All right, so they come to me with that, and they start asking about branding. Well, should I buy this company for 10,000 will give me a a printed PDF. I'm laughing because it's just so stupid. All right. They'll give you a PDF and they'll give you a folder that's printed with your name on it, and they'll give you a website template that's got your colors on. Just nothing. A logo. Yeah, they'll get you a logo too, which I covered in, by the way, episode 939. So yeah, it's kind of stupid when you have no idea what you're doing, probably limited funding if you're listening to this show, and you can't waste your money on that kind of crap because it's costly, it's and besides the cost of creating the things you think you need, it's time consuming even if you had them to build a brand over time. Wait do you hear when I got my first brand, how long it took. And another thing, it can hurt your expansion. When you're brand new and you get this harebrained idea, I call them, a CSI. That's not the crime scene investigation. It's crappy, stupid idea, right? And everybody's ideas are crappy and stupid, including mine, until you can prove they aren't with real sales and real numbers. But anyway, you get this harebrained idea, and you try it out, and you do all this branding around it, and then it fails, and then you wasted all that time and money. So I always tell people your brand will find you. Sell good stuff to people that really want it, and let them build your brand for you. Don't just don't come up with an idea. This is what happened with the dot-com bubble a long time ago. Those of you old enough to remember it. These stupid kids had these wild ideas and got enormous amounts of funding by even stupider adults. And then they spent the money on pool tables and giving free massages rather than the idea being any good. And everybody lost their money, see? So costly and time consuming is one of the major cons. And now back to hurting your expansion. I'll give you an example of this. I did a killer sales speech for an organization. Got massively great reviews. I'm not just, blowing my own horn here. Got all the evaluations were, off the charts. Loved him. This is going to help us like crazy, blah, all this stuff. And so the meeting planner afterwards was saying, "Hey, boy, that was so great, so great. Listen, do you know any good customer service speakers?" And I said, "Oh, I have a customer service program too." And instead of them smartly saying, "Oh, you do? Let's get it booked," they're like, "We're looking for somebody that's concentrates on customer service." If I'd have done the customer service speech first, I would have blown them away on that, and then they wouldn't have hired me for sales. That's where being too branded can hurt your expansion into other areas. See? Okay, so that's another con of branding. Then you when you're a strong brand out there, you kind of create your competition. You get a lot of lookalikes and knockoffs, and this has happened. I remember this guy invented this exercise device, and these guys from New Jersey, not ragging on New Jersey, although I never go there because of the gun laws. Anyway, said, hey, look, here, we'll offer you this much for your company. And he said, no. Okay, well, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go to China with our people in China. We're going to knock it off. We're going to sell it for half the price at every CVS and Rite Aid on earth. And you're going to disappear off the face of the earth. See, so you're kind of creating knockoffs and lookalikes when you have a strong brand. And listen to this. My first brand, I was in business 20 years. 20 years. This is, a lot of it was before the internet started. And it was Butt Camp around 1996. I invented this, and still to this day, it's the longest running, continuously running internet and digital marketing seminar. I don't know where the other guys disappeared to, but it's still around. But I do them maybe once a year online now rather than in person. But anyway, Butt Camp, and it was based on, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's not an exercise. If you saw me, it wouldn't be an exercise seminar. But it was a seminar. I was making so much money online, and people said, you got to do a boot camp on this, a boot camp, Tom. And I said, yeah, man, I came from a comic background, and I can't do what everybody else is doing. So I'm sitting there making all this money online. I said, I'm sitting on my rear end making this money. I'll call it Butt Camp. And it caught on, and I've done them, 11 countries around the world, except in England, they made me call it Bum Camp instead of Butt Camp. So that was 20 years after I had been making millions of dollars in various businesses that I did my first semi-branding. Didn't even trademark it. So if you want to go out there and try to trademark it, be my guest. Somebody in Europe tried to steal it, and then I kind of threatened them. they quit. But anyway, and then the other one that I trademarked, which was 46 years after I was in business, is Screw the Commute. This podcast you're listening to. I thought, you know what? This image that my good friend Kathy Dunn created for me, and this entrepreneurial podcast in the top 1%, pretty soon should be in the top 0.5% of podcasts. So I trademarked it this year. So Screw the Commute. That's 46 years, but all the while making millions of dollars. So you got to think about this. Is this branding idea right for you? Or is it going to be a suck on your finances and keep you from actually making money and letting your market build your brand that's going to work? Because if your market builds your brand for you, they're spending money with you, okay? And so it's almost guaranteed to work. But if you just think it up out of thin air and cross your fingers, that's pretty risky unless you've got super deep pockets. So that's my pros and cons of branding. In most cases, and most of the people listening to this, you'd be better off with the cons and don't do it, okay? Start making products, sell things. And it allows me to expand all these years. So I have Fatso Tennis, another semi-brand. I won't even call it a brand. It's a spinoff. I got Brutal Self-Defense. I got Protection Dogs Elite. And nobody, knows or cares that it's me in those areas because it's not me, the brand. It's the topic that they're buying. See, the tennis and self-defense and protection dogs. All those have their own, I don't want to say brands, but everybody knows what they're about, and it's not dependent on me, my name. See? So anyway, you got a lot of leeway if you forget branding and you work to take care of customers. That's the bottom line. All right, check out my school, imtcva.org, and my mentor program, Great Internet Marketing Training, and I will catch you on the next episode. Catch you later.